Hey, Chrissy, happy podcast day.
Hey, Kristen, how are you?
Just over here drinking my kale spinach shake. That's green. That's real green.
So before we start, I would kind of like to talk about the elephant in the room.
Oh, there's an elephant in the room?
Well, not really,
I love
but
elephants.
I was thinking about our group chat with our kids today. And so, as you know, the new Taylor Swift album dropped, and
Big fan. Big fan.
I am too, but the problem is I wasn't always.
I know.
And it wasn't until after her last album where I started to learn a lot more about her and the way she treats people and the way she does business, that I really grew to respect the business part of her life. And I found myself on the phone yesterday talking to someone that I worked with for years, and I spent 20 minutes defending Taylor Swift.
Oh, girl, listen, I am drinking the Kool-Aid. Well, what started this conversation on our family group chat was that I said, some personal news, family. I am henceforth a Swiftie, and I declared my love for her and said may even go see a concert when she goes on tour. To which our son replied with a meme of, what's it, like white rice and like white chicken, and he said, this is Taylor Swift's new album. Okay, that's bullshit. All right, let me back up.
He clearly didn't listen to it.
No, he didn't. No, he's just trying to be a provocateur. So I wasn't a fan of Taylor Swift, but I've never been a hater. I will say the category of haters, of people that genuinely hate Taylor Swift and like boo her, at that when there's an NFL sighting, there's something fucking wrong with you. I mean, to actually have hatred for a pop star who's never done anything to anyone, right? But live her life and make albums and create a following and build, let's call it what it is, an empire. And I was neutral because like her music isn't my style really. And so I'm like, she's cool, but it's just like, I'm just was never a Swiftie. I wasn't a follower. Well, then, gosh, I mean, a couple of things have happened in my life, and I started watching football, and I started to become a big fan of Jason Kelce, which then forced me to listen to the New Heights podcast. Then I became a fan of Travis Kelce, and this was before he and Taylor hooked up. And I have to say, and you were right there with me, watching her on that New Heights podcast, I became a super fan. I had never heard her talk for that long and just like the reveal into her personality, her wit, her obvious intellect,
her sourdough baking,
all of it,
sourdough bread baking, which is
all of it,
very close to my heart.
Of it. And so then when this album dropped, I actually bought the vinyl. That's crazy. And I listened to it when it dropped, and you've seen me. I just keep dancing around the house.
Well, and it's even more for me than that. I mean, yes, all of those things I agree. And we became big fans of the Kelce brothers after we watched the documentary on them and learned everything we learned about the two of them and started watching that. We were really more like Jason Kelce fans. And then we started learning more about Travis and became fans of his. But I even find myself, I'm rooting for him, man. I am rooting for him and Taylor to have a successful life together. And I don't usually get involved with famous people or, I don't care. What good for you. I hope you have a great life, but I'm actually rooting for these two.
Me too. Listen, they're going to have a really big struggle trying to make ends meet, financially. So, I really, I feel terrible for them. Listen. Okay. Like two people that seem, and this is also so stupid because this is what I hate about people who, love celebrities, how they feel like they know them, right? And I'm about to say a sentence that is going to do the exact thing that I loathe, right? But watching them on the podcast, right? They seem from afar, from a person who doesn't know anything about anything, they seem like two really cool cats, and they seem like they're having a lot of fun in life. And everyone else, like, why do you care? Like, why, if you're a hater, like, why would you not be rooting for love, for two successful people to come together? Why would you not root for that? So I really do question the people that are the haters. Like, there's something dark in your heart that you can't just go, hey, good for them, right? But no, like you, that song Opalite, I can't stop listening to it. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
so
I'm that, and I'm also, but anyway, okay, why are we here today?
Well, because I have this ritual of getting rid of people because people are disposable. Not actually. So I have this ritual.
I was going to say,
everyone's disposable, and I throw people away like trash. No, so this is what we're discussing because I just decided to write about it in my newsletter because I found myself what I always do in a waiting room, doctor's waiting room, wherever. I have some time and I'm sitting and I'm killing time. What I do is I grab a letter from the alphabet and I go into my phone contacts under that particular letter. And I start scrolling through my contacts and I start deleting contacts of people that I have not talked to in years. I have this kind of time frame. It's like since I've retired. So I retired at the end of 2021 and I've been really doing it since then. When I go through my contacts, there are sometimes where I come across one that I'm like, who is this? Even if I've put in like an organization where I can't even place what they look like. And I should also note that my contacts in my phone,
oh my God, please don't
requires, don't you even talk. It requires a first name and a last name. And if there is an organization or entity to which they are affiliated, that goes in the company line. And sometimes I even put notes in my contacts of where I met them. And
the listeners can't see me rolling my eyes.
But they can feel it. They can feel it. You, on the other hand, so we started sharing contacts. We merged our contacts one day. I don't know whose idea it was to do that. I think just
it made sense at the time because we worked in the same place. Sense. Yes, bullshit. It did. We had all the same people. So when I was entering new officers' information, then you had it, I had it. We were working at the same place. It made sense. We had a lot of the same friends. It made sense.
See, I think it happened because we merged our calendars because of our family, and that worked really well. But I think under the weird iCloud cult, I think our contacts merged too, and that was infuriating to me. Because
you're just Chris, not a good sharer as well. So let's just leave that out there because you were always like, why do you have to have all my contacts? What does it matter?
But why? Tell the listeners
why. Because really
when
you just
put in
don't
a contact,
want...
What do you write? What do you write when you put in a contact? What do you put in a contact
Rick,
for someone?
Painter.
Sometimes you don't even put painter. I will scroll through your contacts and it's like Rick, Bob, Joe. And I'm like, who are these people? And that started when we merged our contacts. That started showing up on mine.
I don't do that anymore because you get angry.
Yes, I get angry. And, even sharing calendars with you is difficult because like you put things in lowercase, like you don't pay any attention to like, proper nouns or anything, but it's okay. I've gotten over that. I haven't told you about that before, but that's
now I will have ChatGPT add all of my appointments into the calendar. APA formatted.
Yeah. So anyway, the whole point of this is that I usually know who this contact is in my phone. But so those are the easy ones, right? Where I look at it and I'm like, wow, okay, this name and maybe it even says the organization, but I'm like, I couldn't pick them out of a lineup. Delete. And the iPhone I love always says, are you sure? Are you sure you want to delete this contact? And I couldn't be more sure. I just like delete. I don't even know who these people are. And then there are people that kind of give me pause a little, where I see their name and, I have this like, I haven't talked to them in a while, but I don't know, like I'm not going to delete them yet just in case. And do you want to know why I don't delete them? Is just in case they text me. And then I don't have to go through that terrible dance of, God, I don't know. I don't have this person programmed in my phone. And then how, like, I don't know about you, but I think you're probably a little more blunt where you're just like, who is this? Where me, I'm like, hey, sorry, got a new phone and my contacts didn't all carry over.
So which anybody who believes that line, they're just stupid.
It's such bullshit. It's really, I deleted you or I never entered you in my phone in the first place. Either way, I don't delete them because I'm afraid they're going to text me.
Okay. I hate you for this because I now do this where I go through my contacts and I started doing it after we retired after, I don't know, when one of the some conversation we had. And first of all, first of all, I just have too many contacts in my phone. That's just to start off, because there's all these, like,
Same.
I was looking at it yesterday and I'm like, King County Felony Hotline. Yeah. Haven't needed that in 5 years. So I went ahead and deleted that because I haven't charged a felony since 2021. So like these, like, I wish there was a way to do like multiple contacts at a time, because it really is a pain in the ass to do one at a time.
There is. I'll show you how.
But what really struck me wasn't so much like what a daunting task it is or how many people I don't talk to. What really struck me is that when you go through and do this, you can either feel very, very happy or very, very sad. Because I see some names and it makes me smile because we still talk and it's nice. And, we've known each other since we were 14 years old. We've known each other since grade school. And whether we talk twice a year or we talk once a week, it doesn't matter. There is no difference in our friendship, and I cherish them and I will always cherish them.
Yes.
And then when you start deleting people, it can make you a little sad because you have to reconcile friendships that have faded away or maybe had more of a tumultuous ending. Or I'll tell you too, there's a few names in my phone that when I see them, they bring a visceral reaction. To me.
Delete.
And I did, and I have deleted them because just seeing their names make me angry.
Yes. Okay. So this is exactly what I want to talk about, because this is not about making room on your phone. This is far deeper than that. This is a digital spring cleaning, and it's a metaphor for emotional inventory, is what I realized while I was sitting there deleting. And it gives you this weird mix of nostalgia and detachment when we realize how many people have become someone you used to know. And that is like the weirdest thing. And what I have found is our phones, it's a museum of past lives. Like some exhibits are worth revisiting while others belong in storage. So I kind of want to go down the road. We've talked a little bit about the ones we delete, right? But there's different categories. And this is what I found myself kind of writing about after going through this exercise. One of them that gives me pause, this is the one where I think about the most, is the effort equation. That to me is when I look at a name and it's the one-sided friendships. It's the ones that, if I'm always reaching out, I automatically reflect on the effort. And sometimes I'll go back into my text messages because I don't delete my text messages. And I might go back and say, well, plug their name in. When's the last time I talked to them? And I kind of go through a dialogue and I look and I'm like, wow, it's like I'm the only one who is taking the time to reach out. So I have a really hard time with those, because if you're always the one sending the first text, then you're really not in a friendship. You're not in a back and forth. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's not a friendship. And those are the ones that I often skip over and decide to revisit later. But those are the hardest for me.
Yeah. And I think I look at that just a little bit differently, because there are friends that I have that I am the one who generally reaches out more than they do. Now, every once in a while they'll reach out, but let's say it's 5-1. But I also take into account I'm retired. They're not. My kid, our kids are grown. They have little kids. So I take that in account of who makes more effort. But, I think what I've noticed, at least this is my perception of it, for you, it's very different, because you went, and I have this on a much smaller scale, but you went from, right, being the chief that everyone wanted to talk to, everybody wanted your number, everybody was reaching out, people were showing up, to you left that position and it really basically showed you who were never really your friends, because they were only doing that because they wanted something from you. So your communication dropped significantly, where mine didn't, because I didn't have that. I couldn't do anything for anyone. So I didn't have that falsity that you had. And I don't say that to be shitty, but it's true. I could tell the people who walked into our house or the people who called you all the time, because once you were gone, that's not even a thing. And then there's that whole group of people that only seem to call because they need you to do something for them. whether
Right.
it's a reference for work or they're going through a work problem and you understand it, but they don't call and just check in. They don't call and how many people call you, Kristen, and just go, "Hey, how are you? I haven't heard
Right.
from
Yeah.
you or we haven't talked. I just want to check in. How are things going?"
Right. It's typically the former of someone. But see, I don't mind that though when people reach out and say, "Hey, I'm going through something. Can you help me with this?" That
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who specifically want stuff from you because it's the right people or you have the connection or it's not a hey, I'm having a hard time in my life
right.
kind of thing.
Yeah. And I don't find that there's that many people because like what you're describing are users and I don't really have that many people in my life. For me,
Not
it,
anymore. No, you don't.
no, that's right. But going back and looking at my phone, I have another category of people where I just smile fondly. Like I've been putting names in my phone since I started working at the Aurora Police Department in 1991. I even put people's badge numbers in. And it's really funny because when I go through these, it's like there has been no falling out. It's just kind of a little smile of like, wow, I really liked that person, but I haven't talked to them in, maybe who knows, since I retired or even gosh, even before, I even retired, I still haven't talked to that person. So that's like it's not a harmful goodbye. It's kind of just it's been a pleasure and you were
Do you
in my
delete
phone.
those?
So I absolutely
Okay.
delete those. If I haven't talked to that individual since, let's say, when I worked at the police department, because there was a lot of professional times I had to text our officers and things like that. But I would say for the most part, since leaving, if I look at those individuals and again, there's no strife involving them. They don't cause any reaction to me. They're just really wonderful people, but I just have no connection to anymore. We worked together when I was in patrol or when I was a sergeant or, and so on. And those are the people that I just smile and I just really remember them fondly and then I delete them because I genuinely have no reason to keep them in my phone. You brought up the people that cause a visceral reaction in you.
Okay.
And those are kind of interesting to me because I pull up these people in my phone and I call them my good riddance files, man. The satisfaction of deleting some names, and these are like professional relationships that have soured or people who got really mad at me when I became the chief or became a decision maker in the organization. And I can think of one in particular that I was really good friends with throughout my entire career, but I had to make a decision that affected her negatively. And that decision was made for the right reasons at the right time. I mean, truly for the best of the organization. And there are many decisions that I followed through that litmus test where people still got upset at me because it negatively affected them and they simply could not, I guess, handle, or I don't know. I don't even want to try to get in their head, but basically they wrote me off or never talked to me again. Those people, it makes me feel good because man, some people don't deserve to take up any data space, let alone
Yeah.
any head space.
Well, and those are the kind of people that I have no feeling at all about deleting them because they were in the position they were in because they put themselves there.
Mm-hmm. For
You
sure.
listen. I can't. Your behavior is your behavior. If I'm holding people accountable, I'm holding everybody accountable to the same standard, and you don't get a pass because you were somebody that I used to know a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So those aren't the people. And I know, you've had a few of those and some other that were people that, were in our, were close to us and people we were very good friends with that maybe we had a falling out because
Mm-hmm.
you made a decision that didn't sit right, that didn't, it's not even sit right, that didn't benefit them
Yeah.
at the police department and that caused a rift in our relationship. And for me, those people showed their colors and that's nobody that I would want around me anyways. I would say that the ones that cause visceral reaction for me are all personal. And I
Yeah.
was thinking about it today. I was thinking about it today when I was leaving the grocery store because there have not been many people in my life that have truly broken my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the people in the phone that have caused this
Mm-hmm.
visceral reaction because even in relationships, we all know people stumble and fall and people, make mistakes and things happen, but it's very hard for me to let someone into the point where they can hurt me that badly. And
Mm-hmm.
when, so I would when I was going through my phone, there were a couple names, and
Mhm.
yeah, and I did it yesterday because I was thinking about this, and man, I will tell you that it was easy to delete, but it was not. It stuck with me for several hours after I deleted, that I was
Yeah.
rehashing the incident in my mind, and maybe things I wished I would have said, or things I wished I wouldn't have said, or not given them the time. But it's really hard when you have that catalog in your hand, the way you describe it, that you go back and you look at all these different aspects of your life, because some of it is just really, really difficult.
I'm so interested why it took you this long to delete those names. Because, I mean, there are people in my life also that we didn't just disagree, they actively harmed me. And, and you know that as well as anyone. And those people, I immediately deleted their names out of my phone the minute that I retired, because the ones I'm thinking of had, were affiliated with the police department, actively harmful, and delete. It was just goodbye. I'm curious what made you hang on, because that's been years now, for that personal harm. So that's my first question. And my second question is, now that you've deleted them, I'm thinking about the book, The Power of Regret by Dan Pink. And he says that there is absolutely no expiration date to reaching out to someone to apologize. If you were to receive a text message now from one of those deleted, people, first of all, would you be like, who the hell is this? Right. And, would you consider even hearing them out if there was an apology?
So, one, the reason why I didn't delete them was twofold. One, I never saw their names coming up. So I didn't really, I forgot they were even in my phone. I
Yeah.
forgot. And then the few times that I was going through and I saw them and I didn't delete them, even though it gave me a visceral reaction, I didn't, because if they ever did text, I didn't even want to have to do the new phone who dis.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, they get
Yeah.
no response from me, because
I see.
there are, I think, and listen, you're right. It's never too late to apologize for something. I can think of a few that if they were to apologize, I would listen to it, but I would not, there would be no change in our non-relationship.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Because I think that I know who I am as a person. And listen, I've hurt people in my life. I have never intentionally done certain things to people that I have had done to me.
Yeah.
And I think that therein lies the difference.
Yeah.
Intent.
Yeah. Okay.
And
No, that's
when
fair.
somebody intentionally does something like that, there is no room. You want to say you're sorry, you're only saying you're sorry to make yourself feel better, because I'm so done with you that you're not even a thought unless a conversation like this comes up, or maybe we run into people that used to be in the same group and they ask the question, and it's like, because you'll always say, well, it really upsets you, so you must think about it. I don't. I don't think about it until somebody brings it up or I see a name. And now that they're deleted, that won't ever happen again.
Sure.
And we don't run in the same circles, so I don't have to worry about that. So unless we're having a candid, pointed conversation like we're having, they're not even a second thought in my head, so I don't have to worry about it.
What I'm hearing from both of us is that easy to delete those who have caused us harm. And I learned, of course, that leadership lesson the hard way is that, promotion often prunes your social circle. And if you have to make hard decisions, you're going to lose friends. That's why I always say leadership is not for the faint of heart. And I most certainly wasn't perfect at my decision making at all, but I don't think I deserved some of the treatment based on decisions that I think they know in their heart was also best for the organization. So those are easier for me. The ones that I can look at fondly, smile, and think about, wow, someone I used to know, those are easy. So it seems to me the ones that I have the hardest time with are the one-sided, where it's like we still talk-ish, but yeah, it's mostly me. So those are the hardest. But I think in all of this, I think this whole cleansing metaphor is that every person in your life plays a role. And the metaphor that I want to use, it's just like a movie. Like, some people are just cameos. They just kind of walk on, and you're like, cool, and then they walk off stage right, and they were only there for a moment. Some have reoccurring roles, and some obviously are main characters. And I think that what this emotional purge does is it letting go of some of those cameos and the ones who were antagonists, let's say, in the movie of our lives, letting them go makes room for the next act, because I don't think that everyone is meant to be a main character in our lives forever.
No, I agree. It's the whole right reason, season, or lifetime.
Yes.
People come into your life.
Let me ask you what you think of this. So there was a friend of mine who said that she uses the birthday test. And I'm like, what's the birthday test? And she says when she wishes someone a happy birthday or they wish her a happy birthday, she goes back and looks at their text history. And if the only time they communicate is on each other's birthdays by saying happy birthday, and that's it, it's just every year, happy birthday, happy birthday, she says she automatically deletes. And I'm just not ready to let those go yet, because at least they're thinking, I mean, they've taken a step in furtherance and wishing me a happy birthday, and I'm doing the same. So I guess I'm just not ready to erase those yet. But I don't know. So maybe that's maybe there's an absurd politeness to digital relationships.
Well, hold on, because I don't agree with her thinking. And here's why. Because I have a certain set of friends that I could look back and the only text messages we send to each other once a year are happy birthday. We maybe we might talk one other time during the year if, there's a hurricane and they're checking on me, or something goes on in a town they live in and I'm checking on them. There is no other conversation. The reason why I don't delete them is because in today's day and age, I gauge it by if it's your birthday, and we all know it because of social media, right? Facebook, whatever, it tells you it's whoever's all of these friends' birthday. If I take the time to not wish you happy birthday on social media, but I go to my phone and I send you a text message that says, hey, I hope you're having a great day. Happy birthday. That tells me I'm keeping you in my phone.
Okay, so that's fair. That's fair, because social media prompts you. Like when I log into it,
and you don't even have to write a message. You just click. It's a pre-printed message. Boop, boop, boop.
Know.
Done.
I know. So like Facebook is like, do you want to wish them a happy birthday? Yeah. So that is you're right. And the fact that someone takes the time because you must be in their calendar and they text you on your birthday. You're right. And I think that's kind of where I fall.
Or I see it on social media and they're not in my calendar.
Yeah.
But I take the time I don't even bother clicking that button on social media. I go to my phone and hit, hey, happy birthday.
Yeah. I think that what she was saying is that there's a difference between like polite connection and meaningful connection. And I get that, but I'm also like kind of okay with a polite connection sometimes. I do think that you do need to reassess whether something is actual, genuine intimacy or just digital maintenance and kind of going through the motions. But
if every relationship you had, right? If every relationship you have is this deep, meaningful connection, I would be fucking exhausted.
That's true. That's very true.
I need the surface. I need to have the people that we just go out and we talk about, Taylor Swift's album dropping or what we saw in the news that day or what the weather's like. And then we have our group of people that we talk about the nitty gritty and we get in there, and those are the best nights. And I have so much fun, but I also have a lot of fun being on the surface, laughing and joking and not taking things too seriously. I need that in my life just as much as I need the other connection.
Yeah, I think I'm the same as you because I genuinely do appreciate those people who are reoccurring roles. Let's put them into a reoccurring category. They're not just cameos, they're reoccurring roles, but maybe they're not main characters. So I think that there's a place for that.
So the people that I cannot bring myself to delete are people in our lives that we have lost. And we're never going to talk to them again. And not only that, but God, if you look through my voicemails, I have voicemails that are years old from your mom, from another friend's mom. And I can't delete them because I'm not ready. I'm the same way with emails too. I have emails. Yeah. I have emails from people that are no longer with us that I can't.
I know.
Because
I'm with you. I can't either.
I want to hear their voice. I want to see their name and their phone number in my phone. And do you want to make it light of it now when you hate the way that I put my mom's phone number in our phone? Because
it freaks me out. So I'm with you. And here's the difference. In my phone, my mother's name is in there, first and last name. It's not Mom, it's Vicky Kendall Olson. My father's name is in there, Hans Kendall Olson. And they are both no longer with us. And I swear to God, I stare at their names and I think to myself, what are the rules here? Am I supposed to delete them? And then
No.
when we did share contacts, you write your contact for your mother is simply Mom. And that contact never got deleted on my side. So I freak the fuck out when my phone rings and it says Mom. It's your mother, but it takes me a good 2 seconds to go, how's my mom calling? She's dead. Like I have this moment and it happens to me every single time. And you would think that, I would be better at it. But when I see that word like mom come up on my screen, it's your mother. And I just can't delete them. And this is funny. This is a shout out to our beautiful friend and neighbor, Tom Marcourt. He said to us, he's like, when's the right amount of time before you can delete a deceased person from your phone? And I'm like, Tom, this is such a deep conversation.
This is going to take at least 2 bottles of wine to discuss.
Yes. And I hope he writes about it, as he said he was pondering, because I want to read that, because it's deeper than that. But I cannot take people out of my phone that I loved that are no longer with me. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. So I would be interested to get some feedback on that and what people do. But it just feels like I have no problem getting rid of people that are still with us. I'm like, bye. But yeah, that's a tough one for me. It's just like a closure or erasure that I'm a reckoning I'm not ready to confront.
Yeah. I mean, I do delete text messages just because there's just gets to be so many. But I have a text string between a friend of mine, her and I, and she passed away, and I can't delete it.
Yeah.
And I go back and read it every once in a while, just because we always made each other laugh,
Yeah.
and I cannot delete it because I'm just not ready. And I have another friend who her phone broke and she spent 7 hours at the T-Mobile store because she had all the text messages and voicemails from her mom. And when her phone broke and her new phone came, it did not transfer over, and she was a mess.
Oh,
and so she spent 7 hours at that store and got it back. But it was heart-wrenching to talk to her, because we saw her at a restaurant right in the middle of it while her phone was at T-Mobile and she was getting it fixed, and she was so distraught. And it's like, I think about that all the time. So I'm always making sure my phone has backed up, and I'm not ready. I don't think there's ever a good time, because if you have this relationship that's meaningful and has touched you in a certain way, it doesn't matter how long they're gone for. It's always going to be an important thing to us. So I don't think there's never going to be a good time to delete that phone number. And her birthday's still in my calendar, and the day she passed away is still in my calendar. And that's always going to be there, because I'm never going to be ready to let that go.
Yeah, I think the answer is that's a personal thing. There are some people that need that closure and need to make that deletion. Voicemails to me are so different. My gosh. I mean, I'd give anything to hear my mother's voice right now. And I don't even think I have a voicemail from my mom. So I understand people who would fight like hell to keep that digital memory of them. That's obviously far more important than just a name, in a contact, right? But I don't know, to bring this all home, I think that the whole idea is that we really do need to sometimes do a digital audit of our lives. And the reason is because purging is not so much about erasing people, it's about releasing people. And it's clearing space for new people, for what matters next. So I would encourage people to do their own contact audit, and that might also, quite frankly, rekindle some relationships. And that has happened to me, where I stared long and hard at that contact and thought, I haven't talked to them in years. And instead of deleting, I took a chance and reached out and completely resurrected what was a relationship where nothing bad happened. We just, kind of faded away from one another. And so I think that's important to do it, is to add that, kind of to the audit process as well. And, you also don't have to hate someone to delete them. You just have to stop pretending that they still belong in your story. So I don't know. I think sometimes,
I like that.
Yeah, a quiet delete sometimes just says, I've moved on, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to most certainly make space for new people, and certainly to rekindle the relationships that may have gone dormant for a while. It's never too late to do that.
I love that it doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't
No.
have to, there doesn't have to be an incident, right? It has to be like, does this, who's that lady? Hold it in your hands. Does this have value for you?
Yeah. Right.
And if it doesn't, let it go. And I think I love that the most, because then it's not about a fight, or it's just not about anything. It just is.
Maybe, you know what maybe I'll start doing? You know how some people get on social media to make an announcement that they are getting off social media? I find that so hilarious. Like, just want to let everyone know, I'm taking a break from social media. And I'm like, why did you have to say that? Why don't you just like get off social media? Maybe what I'm going to start doing is texting like, hey, just to let you know, I'll be deleting you from my phone effective Monday. But just to see what happens.
See ya. But
wouldn't that be funny though if you got a text from someone that was like, just to let you know, I'm done with you and placing you in the garbage.
Yeah.
You're going in my trash.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to actually do that, because
it would be so funny.
I'm going to spend the next few days deleting. Next time we talk, I'm going to show you my phone. I'm going to have like 7 contacts. That's all I'm going to have in my phone.
Okay.
Because I'm going to tell people, is there any, and I'm going to put it in their, I'm going to put it in their court. Is there any reason why I should keep your contact, or are you cool with me deleting this?
Make them work for it. Like, make them like sell themselves. Like, no, wait, don't delete me, because I may have a salutation.
If the answer is no, please explain why.
You're gonna make people work for it. I would die if I got a text message like that. I would die. Like, hey, just to let you know, I'll be deleting your.
You might get one from me.
Oh my God, I don't even know how I would respond if I got that. Please, you have 24 hours to provide your value, or I will be deleting you from my phone.
What is the value of this friendship to you?
Oh my God.
If you find none, just know I will be deleting you from my phone within the next 10 minutes.
That's absolutely hilarious. Let's do that. Let me know how that goes. All right. Well, Disruptors, this has been a good conversation. Just remember, your contact app is a reflection of your life, who you were, who you've outgrown, and who is still worth the space. So take that.
And who you are becoming.
That's right. We're always in a state of becoming. All right. Well, keep on disrupting, my fellow Disruptors. Until next time. Peace. And that's a wrap on this week's episode of the Disruptors Creed, where we don't do average, and we sure as hell don't do status quo. It's produced by me, Kristen Zeman, because I like to be in control of everything. Musical score is by Ethan Reardon and Jake Zeman, because talent runs deep in this gene pool. If you like what you heard, do that thing. Click subscribe, like, follow, or whatever button keeps this chaos flowing into your ears. And if you didn't like it, you probably need it more than you think. Head over to KristenZeman.com and sign up for my weekly brain droppings, where I dump thoughts, disrupt your thinking, and hopefully light a fire under your ass. All conveniently delivered to your inbox every Monday. You're welcome. Now go out there and cause some good trouble. Until next time, keep on disrupting, my fellow Disruptors. Onward and upward.